2026 at 6:01 p.m. in the Susan Tully Ledgely Boardroom of the 1887 building. I'd like to start the evening by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and Mr. Tadlock, would you take roll call, please?
Mr. Andre, that told me here. Where voted here? Mrs. Ingersoll?
Here.
Mrs. Costa?
Here.
Mrs. Jeffries?
Here.
Mr. Scarrow is excused. Mrs. Vaughn?
Here.
Mr. Greavy?
Here.
Ms. Krakowski?
Here. Now, the forum. This meeting has been noticed for state statutes. I did not receive any cards indicating that anybody would like to speak during our community participation. So we will move on to our Elkhorn High School student presentation.
Mrs. Saunders is going to introduce them.
I am. This is Mr. Hanley and a fabulous group of students for our model movement. They're going to talk to you about what they do and what it is.
Well, hello, my name is Mr. Hanley, Matthew Hanley. I'm the advisor for Model UN. I'm gonna let students talk. They're gonna talk about what we're trying to do this, again, starting actually, basically this series, our first time actually going to a conference. It will be happening in March. So we're about a month away from our first conference. We'll let them talk through their experiences, what they are. The first, again, couple months of us really starting to get into it, but I'll let them share.
Great. I'm Charlotte. I'm Lily.
Roberto.
I'm Luke.
So basically, Model UN at our school is like a student-led initiative. So Lily and I started it, and we've been, like Mr. Hanley said, growing in traction. We've been gaining members. And so this year's really exciting because we get to go to our first conference, which is in March. It's coming up really soon. But basically, Model UN, if you don't know, is an academic simulation of the United Nations.
Oh,
So we represent a country, so we're called a delegate, and we debate on global issues and then write a resolution.
So this upcoming conference in March, we'll have 3 countries that we're representing. It's going to be Ecuador, Syria, and Somalia. And there's 3 students that represent each country. So like for Somalia, it'll be like 3 people, and then each of those 3 people are split up into different committees. So the committees for this conferences are weaponizing innovation, the right to privacy in a digital age, and beneath the rising tide, sovereignty of disappearing island nations.
And also modern conflicts. So
Yeah.
I'm representing Somalia in the modern conflicts committee. Lily is doing Ecuador
and modern conflicts.
Ecuador and
the rising tide.
disappearing island.
Yeah, and Luke is Syria. Yeah. But basically, we think that Model UN is really important because you get to learn valuable skills that'll help you throughout high school and college. So personally, I've learned how to public speak better, do research in a more like efficient and effective way, critical thinking and collaboration. So Model UN's mission is to build informed and engaged global citizens.
It's really exciting too to see like the growth. Like I didn't even know we had a Model UN at our school. I mean, it started last year, was it?
Yeah, last
Yeah.
year.
Last year, and it's growing pretty quickly. I see. I'm pretty excited for the opportunity to be able to, we're going to Madison. It's March, I want to say 20th, 21st or 19th and 20th. So it's a 2-day thing. And it's just exciting to see all the other schools. I know they have a Model UN at they have a convention in Chicago. They had it like a few weeks ago. So maybe hopefully you guys could be at that this year, but it's just good to get it out there.
Yeah.
I would also like to share that conference we're going to is the largest basically in the state of Wisconsin for this time of the year. There's gonna be about 750 or more different high school students from around the state there, representing different schools.
Okay. So do you guys debate, or what you take different positions, or how does it work?
Yeah, so basically when you're assigned a country, you have to take the side of that country. So like I said, I'm assigned to Somalia, so I have to take Somalia's side on my modern conflicts committee.
Okay.
And so you create a position paper with basically outlining what your country's position is on that topic.
Yep.
And then when you go to this committee, it's basically sort of like this, and you just try to create a resolution on like a solution to the issue at hand. So with modern conflicts, its challenges of disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration of non-state armed groups. So we would talk a lot about, limiting nuclear weapons and limiting the amount of armed groups in that country.
Sure.
So the goal of the committee is to create a resolution that would solve the issue at hand.
Okay, so is it a resolution with another country and you
Yeah.
know who that country is that you're going to be debating or?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's like basically every high school has a different country that they're representing.
Mhm.
So I would be in this committee with every country, basically.
Got it.
So it's not just between two countries, it's
Okay.
more like a representative from each of our countries is also going to be in the same committee.
Yeah.
So it's like every
Yeah.
country that is
Each
represented.
country has.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's more of, you're all sitting,
Yeah.
Yes.
representing your countries, kind of like the UN does.
yes.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of like two
Got it.
parts, like first of all, you have to like become like an expert in your country and the topic. So it's really good to like learn a lot about that. And then you have to debate with like the other countries. You have to know like about like how the UN works and like how like the positions work and like how you're gonna like communicate with your other countries. And then ahead of time we have our like position papers, which is where we like draft like what our country like thinks that we can argue like what the country thinks instead of what we think, and then also like maybe some like ideas for what we can propose at like the actual like meeting, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Can I
awesome.
join this club? This would be awesome.
It's good.
You're gonna go chaperone, huh? I don't know. if you can-
I also like to share one more thing about them because they, again, they should be more proud of it, is that it was student led initiative.
Yeah.
So they went out their way to ask me to see if we could even start it, so it wasn't like my idea, it was
Yeah,
all their ideas.
that's awesome.
They wanted to start from the ground up.
That's great. And how many students do you guys have now?
Well, we started at 3.
Yeah.
And now we have like 20.
We have, we have currently going to the conference, we'll have about 12 active members.
Okay.
For the conference. And then there's some others that.
Yeah.
Here and there.
Great. Yeah.
We were wondering if you guys had any questions for us?
Yeah,
or-
does anybody else have any questions?
Does your committee come up with a resolution that will be presented to the entire body to vote on?
Yeah, so when you come up with resolutions, you typically make them like with the allies. So when you come into the committee with your position paper, you would have a list of the countries that you're allied with, like in real life. And you would create your resolution with them, and then it's presented to the entire committee, like you said, and then all delegates vote upon which one they like the most.
And like also multiple resolutions can get passed. It's not just one resolution. You can have like multiple agreements with like different countries. And yeah.
Anything else?
Well, I mean, we're this pretty cool deck in this country.
They put those on there or?
It's an old World Cup jacket.
Oh, okay.
So, school board, Model UN, life and politics in the future?
Maybe, yeah. Let's see.
Well, thank you.
Yes. Especially the speechless. Thank you.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
And good luck.
We're good to go.
Yeah, that's.
I'm mistaken. Okay, looking to have approval for the minutes from the February 9th, 2026 school board meeting.
I move to approve the minutes of the February 9th, 2026 regular session school board meeting as presented.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the February 9th, 2026 regular session school board meeting. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. And motion passes. All right, moving on to our general and other fund bills. Mr. Earl?
The business office offers for approval the following: US Bank check numbers 155-723 and 155-725. BMO check numbers 161615 to 161736. Wire numbers 1015 to 1077. ACH numbers 563 to 599 for a total of $313,142.06.
Are there any questions for Mr. Earl?
I shot you a couple earlier.
Yeah. There was 2 questions, one about a First Technologies purchase for $21,000. That is an education bundle for a desktop UV flatbed printer. So it's a STEM type tool. The package is designed for schools, maker spaces, featuring built-in safety, fume extraction enclosure, and easy-to-use software. It's purchased with the common school funds, that goes in our.
So this is a one-time purchase,
Yeah.
right?
So laser beam, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And you can-
Exhausts.
yeah.
okay.
Okay, and then the other one was the environmental management. So this is us following the Safe Drinking Water Act. And it requires public water systems to test water supplies for
Bacteriological.
agents and chemical contaminants. Wow, can't say that word. To protect the health of the consumers. And so I'm pretty sure I was double checking with Mr. Dadka and that it was Tibbetts in the well water.
Okay,
So that's where those will be tested.
But $4,900? That just.
Once a year.
I mean, now that you describe it,
It was
Right.
20 hours of billable labor
Labor,
plus all the
like-
various lab tests.
Okay.
I'd have to dig into it.
I just, yeah, and now that I understand what it is, and plumber wife, that's all. That's my only background in saying, wow, that seems like a lot.
Okay.
So, just curious.
what company did we use for that?
Environmental management.
Oh, that's the name of the company,
That's the name of
okay,
the company. Yeah, she's two that I didn't recognize and I didn't know what SDWA was, so.
yeah.
Ooh, quarterly testing. For Mr. Dadka.
So that's something that we have to pay
We have to pay quarterly?
quarterly?
That's a different story.
So.
If you'd like, I can chime in on it,
Yes, please do.
right? It's an annual bill, right? But they come out and they do the testing quarterly. We've been compliant with all the tests for the last 3 years. So next year we go down to just being able to have 2 tests a year, which will reduce the cost in half. But this was mandated because the well had tested in some negatives in years past, so it's a required test. So it couldn't be done by a plumber. It had to be done by EMC or someone comparable.
But that wasn't one bill for 4 tests out of the whole year, okay.
Yeah, it's basically $1,000 every time they came out, give or
Oh.
take.
Okay,
And then the
Explanation that.
Thank you.
okay, any other questions? Hearing none, then looking for a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve the general and other fund bills of February 23rd, 2026. US Bank check numbers 155-723 to 155-725. BMO check numbers 161-615 to 161-736. Wire numbers 1015 to 1077. And ACH numbers 563 to 599. And combined amount of $313,142.06 as presented.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded to approve the general and other fund bills of February 23rd, 2026. US Bank check numbers 155-723 to 155-725. BMO check numbers 161615 to 161736. Wire numbers 1015 and 1077. And ACH numbers 563 to 599 in the combined amount of $313,142.06. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next we have the approval of the intergovernmental agreement with Silver Lake J1 School District. This is for them to participate in the Options Charter School District. It's the same agreement that we have in place with Williams Bay, basically just changing the names in the contract. Am I correct?
Correct. Williams Bay, we've used it with other districts in the past as well that wanted to direct contracts. So the students that would participate in the Options Virtual School would remain Silver Lake Joint One students. They
Yep.
pay the tuition amount. And so it's a win-win for both institutions of that. So
Yes.
they would like to, partner with us on that.
This is a new partner, right? Like we've
This is a
not,
new partnership.
Yeah.
This is the school district that Chris went.
oh, okay,
So he had awareness and he reached out to Wheatland and Westosha, who was starting, that's where Emily went.
Mhm.
And they wanted to keep it, since he's next door neighbors to them, right between the two districts.
Mhm.
And they wanted to keep it to just Wheatland and Westosha, and so he reached
Okay.
out to us and
Great.
wants to work with us on fulfilling that need there. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. So looking for a motion to approve. Unless there's any questions or,
I did just have a question.
yeah,
Mhm.
On the second page, it's refers to 4K through 8th grade, but then further down the document, it talks about 4K through 12th grade. I don't know if that's just,
Probably because the original, they don't have 9th through 12th grade, it's just a K-8 school.
okay,
So we could probably strike the 9th.
good catch, Heather.
Which page is that, Heather?
the second page has the 4K through 8, but then if you go down to the third page, admissions number 13, it says 4K through 12.
See that?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, all right. So
so,
we'll make a note of that, approve, but, but not relevant to them because they just service the, right?
right. Okay,
If
so.
they ever get 12th graders, yeah, those kids.
What was that? Graders will take care of those kids too.
They're more broad than that. So looking for a motion to approve as modified.
I move to approve the intergovernmental agreement with Silver Lake J1 School District as presented,
That's
As
modified.
modified.
as modified.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the intergovernmental agreement with Silver Lake J1 School District as modified. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Now we have our student representative report.
Okay, so starting at the high school, last week we celebrated Snowball with hallway decorating, and then on Friday we had an assembly to finish it off with a dance Saturday night. Then during the week, we had a varsity boys basketball game where Miracle Minute for Make a Wish. They had donations for Make a Wish kid. And then FCCLA had a lot of people qualify from regionals to go to state and onto the next level. They had multiple people state bound from multiple sports. So the cheer team made it for cheer state as a whole, and then Aiden Kaganowski made it for swim. And the cheer team took runner up, I'm pretty sure, at state. Then there's Skills USA also, who had a competition, and Nolan Jankwin is pictured there. I think he won an event. And then there's Child Development 2 in the top right, and they're getting hands-on experience with early childhood kids at the Kitty Cottage.
Then over at the middle school, they have the upcoming annual March Madness tournament. So at that, the middle school pep band is gonna be playing. And then once again, they're also doing the different raffle baskets where students in the community can be part of that. And then also at the middle school right now, they're having their Hope Week where students were writing different notes on the windows and leaving different like letters of encouragement around the school. Our Hope Squad is something that we have both at the high school and the middle school, just to like work with students on their mental health and help make it a better environment.
It looks like you had a picture of the chili.
Yes,
soup.
yes, chili.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I talked about that at last weekend, but I remember it was packed in there.
It was, it is every year, it's very well
It
attended.
was really jammed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
And I know a lot of money was made for, they did like the raffles too,
Yep.
and the baked goods. I remember there was like $100 for a box of chocolate chip cookies. That's awesome.
There was a cheesecake that went for over 500.
Wow.
Yeah.
Somebody's in trouble for that.
No. No, no,
They tempted.
no. Get it there. We did not walk home with it, unfortunately.
So at Jackson, some students paired up to learn more about the government on President's Day. With later that week, then a guest speaker came to teach students about agriculture and its role in our environment and community. I'm sure our guest speaker was a father at the school. And then all three elementary schools celebrated the 100 days of school with different activities and dress up days. Fifth graders, students painted Bob Ross and inspired forests.
I love it.
And
That's awesome.
for Valentine's Day, students made boxes that others were able to put treats in.
And then over at Taylor's, there were more students doing like dress up for the 100 days. That's something you found like at all the schools, all of them just pretending they're super old. And then going with more like the art, Taylor's also has their annual art auction coming up, which it will be on March 13th. And they do all different types of things there, whether it's like painting, glass, jewelry, ceramics. That usually helps make a lot of money. for
Yes,
people.
they raise a lot of money at that.
And that was always one of my favorite memories from we were younger, making the projects for that. And then also the third graders, all of the different classes were able to go to Discovery World for a field trip.
Oh,
So there's the West Side students dressed up as 100 days old. And then their PTA ran dance Friday night with different games and a DJ. Their student councils had a robotics station at the Maker Fair. And then I'm gonna butcher this, but Kuznachik family granted a purchase to new beginner level books.
Oh, nice.
With the lunch ladies were dressed up.
Oh, yeah, yes.
And I heard the dance was a big success, over which Westside PTA, they've done them for a while, but they haven't had one for a while, but I heard that the girls were a little disappointed that the boys didn't dress up as nice as they did.
Afterwards, there were like a couple girls that came to high school for the basketball game. They're all in their dresses.
Oh,
really cool.
oh.
So it's good to see. So over at CCA, they're for their school, it's Career and Technical Education Month. And so they're hosting a bunch of different events throughout the month where community members and students can basically come and just learn more about the programs that the school has there. And so this was ranging from like all different types of informational sessions or different shadowing opportunities, even in like classes themselves, ranging from different fields like machining, welding, cosmetology, culinary. And so this is open to like continuing students who want to see like different pathways or people that might be coming to CCA as well.
So options also had different dress up days like Twin Day and Colors Day this last week. For gym at Strength and Conditioning, they did rock wall climbing. Option students are going to nationals, some of them for Aero Olympics, youngest competitor at regionals. Younger students are putting together a book with animal drawings, and Mrs. Heather voted Teacher of the Month for the state of Wisconsin, and then the older students came in to act as book buddies for the younger students.
And do you all know what the Aerial Olympics are? That's the silk.
Oh,
That's where they might lift themselves up on the
Yes,
silk
50
ropes, yeah, sort of.
The girl that went was like the youngest one there, and she's going to
I
nationals.
think she's
Hey, yeah.
do you know her name?
I don't
Is it Lizette?
know the exact name, but
Okay.
there was a picture of her.
This one looks a little bad coming from me, but this is my mom, Dr. Grieving, and she went to all the elementary schools. She's been doing this for, she doesn't know how long, she said. And she goes around to every first grade class and teaches them a little about teeth. And then afterwards, she gives them a toothbrush, floss, and some toothpaste. And she's gone to Westside, Jackson, and Tibbetts so far, and she's going to Options this Thursday.
Nice.
I have one of those toothbrushes in my house. Oh, thank you.
I'm pretty sure my youngest son, yeah, who's now 25, so. I'll hear him out.
So at the Lakeland Health Center, some of the residents actually came together and raised, I believe it was over $350 to donate to the school lunch fund, the Angel Fund.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought that was adorable. And then also the drone show that was on Valentine's Day was a big hit, even though on the holiday. And then there was the drone show that the Making Fair had, along with all the different booths and activities that the students and parents could explore. And then once again, we've been sitting the meetings for the autism parent and caregiver support group, which was 2 weeks ago.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Always appreciate your reports. Okay, we have our director's report tonight, given by Taylor.
Just gonna just share the document with you now, if you don't mind following that.
Sorry, I just never know what somebody.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Your email.
Let me go back and then I'll share this. That's what you wanted?
This was. So this last fall, we conducted again this year, an engagement survey. We did this one via Google Forms. It was sent out to all district employees and it was anonymous. The survey measured 14 different questions about the workplace, and then it concluded with 2 open-ended questions. So thinking back to last year, we used Engage Rocket. We partnered with that platform. It worked really well. We wanted to continue gathering staff feedback, but decided to use our own technology via Google Forms. So last year, our total engagement score was a 4.29. Engage Rocket, being kind of that source of information, really said that a 4.03 was a strong employee engagement score. So using the benchmark of 4.03, last year we were at 4.29. This year's score was 4.34. So we're really, really proud of another strong year of engaged responses, engaged feedback. That's not to say that there's always room for improvement too. So the 2 open-ended questions, we started with what energizes you most about coming to work each day. And of course, no brainer was working with our students. A lot of staff also just noted the really supportive teams and the purpose-filled work and what we all do every day. And then the second question revolved around what's a suggestion to be able to make our schools even better. And so that we drilled down to 4 different areas. 1, communication and transparency. This meant different things. Sometimes to some folks, the general consensus was greater staff feedback. I want to be able to share above and beyond just a survey. To others, this meant more direct, transparent feedback and communication to our families around the state of the district. Another common theme was those in-service days. Some staff wanted to be able to have complete autonomy and complete flexibility of their in-service day to be able to tailor that to what fits their needs the best. We identified a common theme amongst our support staff to really kind of have some more purposeful, specific trainings that can meet them where they're at versus just having it be a training for everyone in the building. The student experience came up a handful of times as well in terms of our staff are very concerned about the student experience, knowing that some of the decisions that need to be made. So if class sizes go up, what does that mean to their students in their classroom? Recess minutes, definitely at that K5 level, making sure their students have that unstructured play time. Students were at the forefront of a lot of the feedback. And then the student supports, our staff care deeply, deeply, deeply about our students' mental health. So making sure they have access to the counseling, the social emotional supports, the trauma-informed care. But then also being able to maintain the learning environment, but also have an inclusive classroom. So just staff asked for supports in that regard, making sure that's at the forefront of
kind of the decisions that are being made. And so we're excited that each building, each team here in the district is continuing to dive into their data even more. Again, celebrating the really high score that we have, but then also taking the staff feedback and seeing what can our buildings do specifically, what can our teams do specifically to continue to make this a place that staff want to be. So I guess I'll pause there. Initial questions.
What happens with the feedback?
Yes. So we have leadership teams at each of our buildings. And then they take this data and they dive even deeper. So we took a very, very high level look to get this information. They then dive in building specific, team specific to determine what to do next this year. Yes.
Yeah, and those things are shaped differently depending on the building where they're at and what those desires were. When you put it in the big bucket, yeah.
Okay.
And so it's, I think, doing that work more purposefully at that building level because they each have their own disaggregated feedback that
Sure.
makes it more relevant to that group.
Okay.
I think one of the questions that we wanted to ask, and I shared this because I didn't want to make any changes or structure to how we do it without board input. Some of the feedback that we also received is that staff are feeling surveyed out. And so typically we've been doing a fall and then a spring. We discussed, well, do we just go to an annual survey and then you look at, what's that time frame in between? Because as you get the feedback, you disaggregate it, you start to put pieces in place. It takes time to have that impact anyway. But I didn't want to pull the spring survey and either just do a fall one each year or do a spring one each year without having board input on that, because I didn't want to. But that was feedback from staff. It's not a lot of work from our end to push the survey out. But we did have good, how do I put it, higher numbers that took the survey. Engage Rocket would keep sending email reminders, hey, you haven't taken the survey yet. Well, we did because we didn't have that feature, is we took time in the staff development and service day and say, okay, everybody log in, do the survey. And so this year we had right at 300 respondents.
Right.
What was last year's number?
About 370, but that was because it continually reminded staff that had not taken it, take this, take this, take this.
And when did they take the survey?
November.
November. And when would you plan to do a spring one if you did a spring one?
Last year we did it in May, didn't we?
April.
But the feedback that you're getting is that they don't want to have more than one survey in a year, is that?
Well, what I say, this is where you have to be careful with the feedback. We had kind of that conversation because like when we look at the ideas to make our schools even better, when you look at those categories, it's what about 20 to 30% of respondents. So 70% didn't mention any of those categories there, but those were like the highest commonality in the groups. So when we're saying staff said they're growing tired of survey, it's a minority.
Because you have staff saying, I like these surveys because I can share my voice, I feel heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what's the balance?
Right.
Knowing that it's February, almost March.
Yeah. So do you make a change because 20 or 30% give that feedback that, hey, I'm getting surveys, but 70% don't, and you don't know how many of them, if you took the survey away, and we could always survey staff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Survey. But that's where we have to be cautious, even on the areas to improve, because if some are like, hey, I want, I don't like this type of staff development, without digging in, having those conversations, we find in the leadership team, it was like, no, I don't know what they're talking about. This is, we like this, we want that moving forward, so.
Through my HR lens, my recommendation, at least this next school year, would be don't survey this spring. It's almost February, March now. Allow our school leadership teams to continue to dive in.
Yeah.
And then do a survey next year, evaluate what that looks like, and then do it on a case by case, annual by annual review. That way we have the time to implement from this year. We have time for our staff to see, do they like what the changes that implemented, and then we can go into a survey next
Yeah, because it
January.
might be nice to have, like, next fall, have a follow-up questions, like if you've been able to implement some things, follow-up questions. Have you, what's your opinion on,
Diving deeper.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely, so. I like that,
Seems to make sense to, yeah, connect the dots.
yeah.
When they say that they're surveyed out. Are they talking true surveys or are they talking about the mandatory? I don't know what you want to call the mandatory things that you have to do before school starts and you're reminded constantly if you haven't done that, like bloodborne pathogens is one. I just wonder if they're considering those surveys.
That's a great question. That I don't know.
Because at the beginning of the year,
Oh, yes.
and
Oh, yes.
you are constantly reminded
Oh,
that
yeah.
you haven't.
Yeah, those are trainings, but yeah.
It's a training situation.
But it does.
But it depends on what lens they're looking at it. I mean,
Mhm.
yes, it's training, but if you're getting those incessant reminders, it just becomes bothersome. You're like,
I never looked at it as training. I looked at it as it was a mandate that I had to do.
Yeah, that it is. That it is.
Yeah.
Fortunately or fortunately.
Yeah, so that may
They're
be,
mandated, yeah. We're gonna budget.
might be nice to get some feedback
Yeah.
on that.
I just
too,
wonder
But,
if that's what they're referring to, because at the
Yeah.
beginning of the year, you're inundated and you're
Yes.
constantly reminded, you haven't done it, you haven't done it, you haven't done it.
Yeah, well, and although that was in the fall, we do, like the school leaders and so forth, probably sending out their surveys for their evaluation of that component at the end. That's where we kind of try to space that, because there are surveys that they complete to provide feedback in that avenue too. Do you, as a high school teacher, do you have a lot of surveys throughout the year or not a ton?
I would say probably not that many. I will say, I would agree to that, not personally, but from people in our department. Some of them feel like it's a checkbox. I actually really like how the bloodborne pathogen was done prior to the school year this year. Because we had time to do it in services.
That's good to know.
beforehand.
Definitely help with that timing.
Okay. All right,
not
So-
only that you're doing it in November, like when you
Yeah.
said fall, I'm thinking, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, we're giving them so much to do in September. What are we gonna do?
yeah,
that's why,
But
yeah, we.
I like November.
yeah, late fall. Okay. Perfect.
Right, so I heard the feedback was to go ahead and. That was to shift it to that annual based on the recommendation. Okay.
Perfect.
All right, very good.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you. Yeah, it's good to be back.
All right, moving on to our personnel recommendation sheet. We received some resignation letters from Jean Gronchowski and Marsha Kratzenberg.
Yeah, I want to thank Jean has been wonderful over at Options as one of our,
Amazing.
early teachers and adopters over there, did a great job building the STEM program.
Yep.
Over there at Options, so thank you to Jean, and I know her and her bit put in hundreds of volunteer hours to help get that school in order. She was there well before the remodel, so.
Yep.
A huge thanks to Jean, and then also Marcia.
Kratzenberg.
Yeah, no, sorry, I was
Oh.
getting emotional. My foster daughter would not have graduated without
Oh.
Marcia. And so huge thanks to Marcia for
Yeah.
the work that she does. Many probably don't know what she does, but she's one of the district office tutors and gets one-on-one, 1 or 2 or 3 with those students and gets them across the finish lines.
Amazing.
Thanks to Marcia for her time and her efforts. We wish her well. And then we have Jordan Hall and Rick Selby as well as a resignation. So that's it.
Looking for a motion to approve.
I move to approve the personnel recommendation sheet for February 23rd, 2026. Including new employment contracts conditioned upon passing the background check and district mandated drug screening as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the personnel recommendation sheet for February 23rd, 2026, including new employment contracts conditioned upon passing the background check and district mandated drug screening. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion passes. And it looks like we have 2 gifts.
Yeah,
this evening.
we have the Tibbetts Elementary PTAs donated $695 to the music program. And the Green Bay Packers Foundation has donated $12.50 to the youth football program.
Very nice.
Bridget, do you want to approve that
Did you
one?
ask the Bears?
That's the second time.
Bridget, you
Bears fan
approve
to
that,
reach out to, I'll take money from any group. I'll ask the Bears, they don't just like send me checks though, like, there's a little grant form that I filled out on both cases, so this is the second check we've got from the Packers, so.
Yeah.
None from the Bears, just.
Not yet, but if they have a grant form, I'll fill it out, I haven't seen
I'm just saying.
from them.
You want to approve that, please? Would you like to say, would you like to approve it?
Maybe that the Bears are winning more than a couple games though.
Oh, no, don't hold them now.
Yeah, now they're gonna be.
They're trying to save their money to build a stadium.
Madam President.
Okay, for accept the generous school gifts.
I move to accept the generous school gifts as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the generous school gifts. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Motion passes, and thank you very much to both organizations. Next we have, looking at for approval of a contract with Maxient for, a concern reporting process.
Yeah, and I don't know if I would even title it, maybe that's not the right title, a reporting process, because it doesn't have to be a concern.
Right.
It's any reporting, so Maxient is a software. Program that will enable us to develop any of our reports, it could be a need, but like our Safe Elks. Could go in there, a Title IX report, I believe UW Whitewater uses Maxient.
Okay.
It's very, very integrated and used, every UW, every college system in the state utilizes it.
Okay.
And it's very. Yeah, Bridget could probably
It's
speak a lot better.
customizable, right? We can-
Customizable, yep, any form, we were just going through in policy committee today, and we have so many policies that say.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if there's this concern, they complete, a report, complete a report. What this does is it allows them to complete a report, and then we can set it up to assign who does that report go to? And then it has a digital trail of what was the action that was taking place. Is that report been acted on? Has it been completed? And, I shared with the admin today when this happened prior to my arrival, but something as simple as a parent requesting a 504. So we can have, here's the 504 request form, they fill that out. That would put it to the principal or whoever the designee is to complete a 504. And there's a timeline on that 504. We had a 504 that the principal prior to Brian Frost just didn't ever file. And it created a significant education compensatory services obligation. That's where the district had to pay $60,000 to provide some services to the student because they weren't timely in it. So this, in practice, so long as that report gets initiated, it would allow us to say, hey, wait, on a 504, there's X number of days window. You haven't acted on this and you're gonna have to follow up. So for the price point, which I thought was phenomenal, because I did go out and check with a competitor. I believe this is set up at $7,000 a year. They do have a setup fee. The competitor was $80,000 a year.
Whoa.
And I felt wasn't as intuitive and as how do you put it?
And
Proven as Maxient.
that price gives us access to the
Unlimited.
whole
Mhm.
thing. It's not like you're locked out of certain components.
You can customize it to
Okay.
exactly what you need.
Okay.
So for instance, if we have a discipline issue with a student. All of our communication, so if we're trying to get a hold of that student to come in and there's just no response, we can send all that email. You can text out of there and it documents it all. So
That's great.
and that's good just for reporting purposes to prove that
Yeah.
I contact.
Yes.
Contact. But it's a great system. I love it.
Okay.
So.
Does anybody have any other questions for?
Yes.
Mr. Cadwell? Or-
I said,
or
somebody's reviewing the contract and such. Because you just kind of rattled off, $7,000 a year plus setup, somebody's, and.
So initially we pay the setup. And then the contract amount would be the following year, so we'd start with the setup and then
And
what's- what's estimated
setup costs?
that was $6,000, I believe.
Yeah, I guess why aren't we seeing a
Yeah.
contract here?
Contract not lien covenant?
No,
To vote on a contract that would.
yeah, exactly, that's,
No, this needs to be tabled then, it should have been attached, I
Yeah.
apologize.
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, thanks, guys, because, yeah, we don't have access to the contract.
All right, let's table it for the
Okay.
next one, I apologize, that should be linked, so I'll make sure it's linked at the next meeting, we'll have it on there, and then we'll just have a short discussion. Yeah.
Okay.
Or not, however long you want. We'll have it on there, there's not a rush, we're looking at starting with them in May for the beginning of the onboarding process and then building over the summer and launching.
Okay,
Okay.
and do we have any announcements? Yes, we need to schedule a personnel committee meeting. Looks like.
I looked at April 6th. April 6th is fine with me.
It's fine with me.
I need to check my works. I wonder and I don't have that.
Okay.
I will email Jody tomorrow.
Okay, great. All right, just looking for a motion to adjourn then.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
And then roll call vote, please.
Mr. Andre?
Yep.
Eric Gordon,
Yes.
Mrs. Ingersoll,
Yes.
Mrs. Constant,
Yes.
Mrs. Reckles,
Yes.
Mrs. Vaughn,
Yes.
Mr. Grieving,
Yes.
Ms. Krakowski.
Yes. Right,
Wait,
wonderful.
let me get, Heather did the motion, who seconded?
Adam.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
This, the resolution needs yours.
I'll wait to contact Adam, say that's a short.
I never thought of this. It's, it's why I wanted to.